Welcome everybody to another Monday all-in live stream presented by the Sufferfest. Thanks again for joining. I hope everybody had a great weekend and you're starting your week off on the right foot for sure by getting a workout in. Today we have a special guest. Of course, we have Coach Neil Henderson from the Sufferfest leading our workout as usual on Monday. And then our special guest today is none other than former World Tour pro and Wahoo Frontiers athlete, Pete Stetina. He is out in California right now, spending a lot of time indoors, a lot of trainer workouts, but I think he's still getting out a little bit. So we'll catch up with him a little bit on that. Today's workout, if you want to follow along, is Power Station in the Sufferfest app. The link is down in the description below, so go ahead and click on that now and open that up if you want to follow that specific workout on a second screen. If not, just follow Neil's prompts. We'll have the workout up on screen, and you can use your smart trainer to adjust the resistance. Also, remember, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we go live at 12 p.m. Eastern right here on our YouTube and Facebook channel. You can also go back and watch the streams later. They're on a playlist, so you can check that out. The link is down in the description below as well. So, have your friends join you for another post live stream workout, or save your favorites and go back and do them yourself. Also, if you're not a Sufferfest subscriber, go ahead and check out that link and the code down below for a little over 40 days free. We have updated the all-in training plans to include new workouts and kind of rework some of the workouts that were in there. So there's multi-sport options, yoga and strength and cycling, of course. But also, if you're a swimmer, this is a really good opportunity to find some workouts you can do indoors right now, given that most of the pools are closed and access to pools are pretty limited right now, unless you're a fortunate person and have a pool either indoors or in your backyard. I will not prolong this too much more. Let me go ahead and bring Neil in, catch up with Neil. Neil, hello.
Hello, Matt. How you doing?
Doing great. Welcome back to the start of another great week. Thanks again for joining.
Absolutely. Glad to have all our Wahooligans and Supperlandrians here to get a bit of a ride in today. We got some quality on tap.
You're looking very spiffy in that brand new Lacole indoor jersey there.
Yes, it is nice. Set up well for indoor riding. Nice ventilation. I got my headwind fan here helping out on that respect. Still have to get a little towel because I'm a sweaty fella, but I'm liking this.
Yeah, it looks good on you too, man. If I don't say so myself, I think I need to get myself one. That's actually a good point, because we've seen you forget your towel, I think, twice now. So a little call to action here for everybody watching. If you don't have a towel, you're going to need one today. And if you don't currently have your water bottle filled, jump off right now, get your water bottle filled, because today's workout is about 50 minutes long. And you're going to be doing some low cadence work. So Neil, I know you're going to go into that in just a minute, but let's go ahead and bring Pete on and see what he's doing. I think he's in his garage right now. Pete, welcome to the live stream.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Well, just Monday, case of the Mondays, I guess. I'm going to get some sweat on and maybe go outside for a little more after this and get some breeze on my face.
Yeah, I hear you. How are you handling things, in California? Have you been doing a lot indoors or finding new ways to spend your time?
A bit of both. We can still ride outside, but solo, I've been pretty loud in trying to preach the best practices. So cycling isn't like our Euro colleagues and getting banned, even riding alone outside. That's been meditation for me, so to speak. And then I've been doing a lot of these kind of workouts for a little bit of intensity, just kind of keep the sharp end going. My wife and I can kind of do like a Monday night Sufferfest strength yoga routine for half an hour, and then do some Zwift stuff, do some road riding outside. Just kind of same as everyone, though. Good days and bad days. If you look at the big, long picture, it sucks. If you take it day to day, every day you're winding down, you're like, okay, that was all right. So
yeah, I mean, I think that's been the theme of a lot of these conversations we've had is the controlling what you can control. We've had comments like that over and over again is I'm just getting by, just controlling what I can control, setting new goals every day, new little achievable marks, every day. So it's good to hear that, that's kind of your approach to it as well. That's what we're encouraging people to do. And I know that's what I'm doing personally. And I think Neil can attest to that as well.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and let you guys jump into it. But before we jump into the workout, real quickly, Pete, why don't you give everybody sort of a background on you? I mean, you're former World Tour pro, 10 years. You lived in Girona. I bet you're glad you don't live there currently, because you would not be riding as much. But maybe share like one of your fondest memories, because you just retired.
Kind of.
Sort of retired.
Gravel
transition.
Yeah, I spent a decade in the World Tour, did all the big races, all the Grand Tours, accomplished a lot there. But, I kind of had this epiphany last year and just, I love the gravel scene. It's where I'm happiest. So I went for it. I created my own program in which Wahoo is a big part of it. And then I've been I jumped full in on that, and I have actually been very adamant that I'm treating this like I am a pro, and I still am. I mean, I made this call in the prime of my career, so I just I'm trying to train, and these races are big enough that I feel like they deserve to have riders focus 100% on them rather than talk about how it's just out there for fun and smiles and hugs. So I'm enjoying that.
You can have smiles and hugs and still be competitive, right? And I think you're proving that for sure. Yeah,
and I get to spend a lot more time in California now. I was one of the early guys in Girona back when the Garmin, now EF team, first started there, like back in 2006 or something. So I've seen the Girona transition happen, and it's crazy, but it's good to be stateside.
Well, we're happy to have you stateside, and definitely happy to have you doing a bunch of gravel races this year. We put up about a month ago the second episode of the Frontiers series, and that featured you as kind of the star in that episode. So definitely check that out if you haven't watched it yet. It's very entertaining. Pete has some great one-liners in there that should get used over and over again. And I would love to see some memes created, just putting that out there to everybody. So I think there's probably some already. But Pete, thanks for joining today. I'll let you guys jump right into it and get this workout started.
I gotta say, it's been a month since I've actually done like a proper workout, because why? So it's nice to kind of fall into a routine. So this is a good thing. Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right, Neil, take it away.
All right. Very good. Well, thanks, Pete, for joining us. Thanks for everyone at home. One thing that we've done here is make a little adjustment. So if you look, if you click on your settings, the little gear icon on the right, if you're using the app, and then go to the left tab, make sure that you adjust the 40p metrics individually, set your map target to 80% and FTP to 90% if you want to follow along with the reduced intensity that Pete and I are going to be riding at. We're still going to be working, don't worry. You can also turn off the auto pause here. And once you've done that, I'll give you about 20 seconds before we start the workout. Try to get everyone synced up. So when you look at this session, it is 50 minutes, and we've got basically 11, about 2 to 3 minute, 1 to 3 minute long efforts. Most of them are around 3 minutes though. And as Matt mentioned, we're doing some big gear climbing today. So we may even see Pete potentially in some of the coverage. If I recall, some of this might even be the 2011 Giro riding up special dirt climb. So, brought this one just for you, Pete, up the, the Finestra. So I think that's where we finished today. We'll see. See if you recognize any of the climbing leading up to that. I was actually in Italy for the finish of the Giro for those last couple stages of the 2011 Giro d'Italia.
That was my first Grand Tour ever.
And you finished 21st, man.
Yeah,
Not a bad
22nd,
kickoff.
and then they took Alberto's score away, so 21st. Didn't quite crack the top 20, but
Yep.
that's how it is. I mean, that was that was the final Giro of the Zolmignon era, which is this race organizer who was absolutely insane. He didn't know anything about bikes, so he just created the most diabolical route ever.
Yep.
But I remember that we did the Zonkalon, which is another big gear climb, Finestre. Yep. It was wild.
And oh yeah, definitely. All right, we're gonna get this started in 10 seconds. So get ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So nice little warm up. Just like some of the stages at the Giro, you get a little bit of piano riding, let the brake get away. Everyone relaxes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that year there was the Grossglockner too. Also a dirt nasty climb. That day had 6,000 meters of climbing, if I recall.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it might be some of the most climbing I've ever done in my life, and
yeah,
it was it was scarring.
It's like an 8-hour stage or something like that.
I think that Grand Tour, especially that Fadaya stage, that just ended Matty Rice's career. He was 20 minutes behind trying to finish. He was on antibiotics. It was raining. There was like climb after climb, and then another 20-mile ride back down the mountain to the team buses in the following town. And he got in after like an 8.5-hour day and just fell asleep in the back of the bus in wet clothes and didn't shower.
Oh, that's horrible.
And he didn't start again. I think that was the last Grand Tour he ever did, actually.
What is that? He said, I'm done. No moss. Pretty crazy. Yeah, the Giro has known to have had epic courses selected, and days and weeks, and the third week being just, you shake your head at it when you look at each day.
Yep. So, I will say, though, I think the Dolomites are the coolest mountain range in the world. They're the most dramatic and the most inspiring for sure.
I will definitely not disagree with you. I spent some time there a couple of years ago for a week and got to ride the Maratona, and absolutely amazing. Spectacular. All right, well, we're just warming up. We got a few more minutes, just kind of cruising here, transitioning up. I've got my headwind paired to my heart rate monitor, and I've actually dialed the heart rate down so it kicks up the speed a little bit earlier. In the past, I had it set too high, which that's one of the cool things. You can do it based on speed or by heart rate, and it'll make that adjustment for you if you're fortunate enough to have the headwind fan. It's smarter than I am.
Yeah, my dad would always say, you just got to be 10% smarter than the unit to get it to work right. And I'm not, because I normally have a monitor, but there's no camera on it. So I'm on the laptop and I have the table, which is blocking the fan right now. I did not engineer this right, guys. This is going to be a bad hour.
All right. Do you have a towel, maybe?
I got my little do-rag and a towel. I need it. Yeah. I was a little gluttonous this weekend. I need to sweat. It's okay.
Yep. I've got the hand towel, so we'll see. It's starting to get warm here in Boulder. It was, I guess, 70s over the weekend. Like, we had snow on the ground last week when I was doing this, and today it is definitely not snowy. It's going to be 80s later this week. So
yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, which you know about Boulder weather pretty well, huh?
Yeah, if it feels 80 in Colorado, it feels like 100 down at sea level. So
yeah,
that is hot.
Definitely. Yeah, the sun's coming out too, so it's one thing we're going to have to ease our way into it, because that sun is pretty intense with altitude. All right, well, we're getting ready for climbing with a little bit of climbing. Have you ever rock climbed, Peter?
Growing up in Boulder, we had like a PE class where we went to the gym and we got to rock climb all Friday.
Yeah,
because Boulder.
Exactly. That's a good way to go.
But no, I had friends growing up that were all time in it, but I never really got into it.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. All right, we're going to bump up that resistance just a touch. We're still clearly well below threshold, probably running right around 60% of FTP right now, trying to keep cadence around 90, relaxing into things. That's a big chain ring. There on the video, some old school rider. So we're going to be doing the big gear work today. Generally, these intervals, for the most part, are around 3 minutes once we get into the meat of it, but Some of them are 2 minutes. We get some warm-up efforts that even count towards the total of 11. So you do much big gear work in your training in the past and these days?
Actually, this is like comfort food today because, you know, I always kind of start a new block with a big gear work. You know, it's kind of like weightlifting, but on the bike specific. And I hate the normal gym.
Yep.
So very often I go out and do 5 by 3 minutes, 4 by 4 minutes of, like low threshold, you know, 50 to 60 RPM seated, just really torque those legs in that lower body. So, and I would always start it coming out of a rest day into bigger rides and harder rides to come. So after chilling this weekend, I guess maybe I'll fall into a routine here.
Yeah, not bad. We're going to get you set with that. So right now, if you bump up just a little bit, maybe around 65 or so percent of FTP, still not pushing hard, but getting things moving, riding somewhere along the coast in Italy, some part of the coast. Not too bad. We got Kreiswick there. Forget who else I saw, but recognize him. His shoulders are the most recognizable shoulders in cycling, I would say. All those little mountaintop towns in Italy are just amazing. And throughout Europe, of course. So, breathing. When we're working hard, I want you to think about not just breathing with your chest up here, but also use that diaphragm. Try to use those big belly breaths. Good thing about big gear work is heart rate and breathing rate aren't quite as high as if you were doing the same intensity at a higher cadence. So that'll make it potentially easier for us to continue to talk you through this today a little bit. Also with dialing down the intensity, but hopefully we should be right on that edge of being able to continue to talk you through it. In 15 seconds, we're going to bump up the intensity just a touch again. Getting closer to about 70, maybe 75% of FTP here. As a warm up, this is 1 minute long. We're going to slow down cadence, bring it down to about 60 RPM. So depending on the kind of trainer you're on, Pete's in level mode, so that means he needs to shift in order to hit the target power and cadence. I'm riding the kicker bike here in erg mode, so all I need to do is just slow my cadence and then it gives me the resistance. And you can make that change up in the settings if you are using a smart trainer and test out both ways. It's a good idea just to kind of get a feel. I find that, you know, some workouts are great in erg mode. You can just pedal and breathe. Other times you need to switch it up to level mode so that you can actually really hit the targets appropriately, especially for short efforts. We're going to back off here in 5 seconds and bring up that cadence. And perfect. And easy minute. Note today, we're not going to get tons of recovery between our efforts, a minute or two generally. So we'll keep some tension on throughout the day. Do you use a climb with your kicker, Pete, or do you keep it steady on the level?
I do. I've got the climb activated and all that. So it's kind of a trick first time you use it.
Yeah. One thing for folks who are just using a climb and haven't used it before, make sure you unlock it so that the app can control the elevation. Otherwise, it'll just stay in one place. And you'll be like, what's going on? It's actually, you just need to hit the button to unlock it, and then the app will control that elevation. So right now we're at about a 1% grade, so not too bad. We're getting ready in 5 seconds to bump up again. We're going to slow down cadence here, 60 RPM target. We're up over 70%. This is just 30 seconds long, just kind of getting everything activated. Think about keeping those shoulders dropped down. I think about keeping core stable as well. So I'm not moving around too much when I am seated. Driving heels down just a touch. Get those glutes. And ease off. Back up to 90 RPM. Covering partial recovery, we'll say about 60% FTP. Which FTP, stands for functional threshold power. It's kind of your upper limit of sustained power, generally around an hour. It's kind of what we would consider that FTP. All right, in 5 seconds, we're going back at it here. A little bit longer effort. We're going to slow down cadence to 65. This is 1 minute long here. Now we're bumping up upwards of 85% of FTP based on the adjustments we've made. About a 6% grade. Thinking about driving those heels through to get your glutes engaged, and they can pull up a little bit with hamstrings too, not just hip flexors. Hamstrings are a lot stronger than your hip flexors are. Got 25 more seconds here. Little surge. Bringing up that cadence up to 70 for a few seconds. Oops, I overshot just a touch. And then bring it down. A couple more seconds in this effort. And we're going to recover right now. Let's go somewhere around 50-55% of threshold FTP at 90 RPM here to recover. Getting into the meat of the efforts here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8 remaining efforts. Look at that, 3 done already. Those are the shorties. The prelude. Starting to sweat a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember how these are very much, it's weird. You don't really breathe that hard, but at the end, you feel like you did something. It's definitely a very much strength training on the bike.
Yeah. Yep. You don't get that same heart rate breathing strain. You just get more of a muscular load.
It's good for little skinny people like me who don't actually have good muscle mass.
Yeah, this is one way to get some. All right, this effort is 90 seconds. We're going to slow down to 60 RPM. Going to be holding right around 80% FTP. So think about relaxing those hands on the bars. I usually just hold on the tops like I would on a climb. If you're accelerating or getting out of the saddle, then sure, out on the brake hoods. But otherwise, I just hold right on the tops of the bars here. We're going to have a little surge, a little higher cadence. Starting right now, 80 RPM. Good work. Getting closer to about 90% of FTP here. So definitely work, but hopefully not quite straining. Some of these kind of sessions, you finish and you feel like you definitely could do more. That's a good way to train generally. Leave a little something in the tank. That way you can recover and adapt, not just get tired. Having trouble hitting that 80 target right on the dot today. I'm either too fast or too slow.
Me too. I'm always too slow. Welcome to my career.
Yeah. Few seconds left. We're going to get some recovery. So go ahead and shift up. Easier gear, 90 RPM to recover. Way down under 50%. 2-minute recovery. Super generous on this one. Still going along the coast, so.
I'm having flashbacks watching this crap. It's like these coast roads are actually the worst you'll ever experience because if you're not in the front, you get this like elastic band effect, we call it, where you overbrake in the back of the corners. You have to sprint out of them, and the Peloton just does this like elongation effect, and it can be the hardest efforts you do all year.
Yeah,
racing are horrible.
Yeah, sitting at the back on those kind of like slinky stages just ripped your legs off. Same thing can happen. I did, let's see, City Park Crit. I'm assuming at some point in your career you did City Park Crit down in Denver when you were young. And that one, lots of turns, several of them more than 90 degrees, some hard roundabouts. And if you're at the front, you know, you're able to just kind of keep it a bit smoother. You accelerate a little bit out of the turns. If you're at the back of a big group,
oh, man,
legs are just getting ripped off.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We have 33 seconds till we start our next effort. So go ahead and get your head in the right space here. We're going to start off with an FTP target, and you see on the workout it changes in yellow to a map target, but because we reduced that a little bit more, it's not going to get much more intense. So it'll be tolerable or something like that. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Slow down that cadence. 60 RPM. We are a 3-minute effort here. Up on a 7% grade. There's the force. There's some torque. Use the force, Pete. And we're going to bump just a little surge here. 65 RPM, so a little modulation up in cadence for just a little bit. Uh-oh. When Nidalee attacks, it's not going to feel good on a climb. I've never been there myself, but I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Buckle your seatbelt.
Yeah.
It's going to be uncomfortable.
Okay, here we go.
All right. We got some serious faces at the front here. So as a rider in the races, is there anyone you like really feared, just knowing if they're in the race, that it was just going to be a harder day no matter what? You can get up and stand if you like.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you know, every race, depending on who was really going. But, you know, the funniest one was the 2017 Vuelta with Alberto. He was so motivated in his last Grand Tour. I was on his team. He lost time early in the race, and he was just going for broke every single day. And
oh man,
he had rivals scared. Literally, guys would come up to us in that second, third week and be like, Pete, is Alberto going to attack today? Like, if not, I want to try to go early and get some time back. And I was just like, dude, I don't know. Like, every day, Alberto would come to me like, you know, 5K before a climb started, and he was scared other directors were listening in his radio. They had our bandwidth. So he'd just come up and whisper to me, Pete, in 5K, full gas. And be like, all right.
Oh, geez.
I would just sprint the bottom, and then he would be fast enough to take over. And it was, guys were actually scared and asking every day if it's going to happen again.
Oh, man. That's wild. Amazing that kind of insight, like what's actually happening out there.
Yeah, guys were definitely trying to hack our radio system to know what was up.
Yeah. Good thing. I don't think they got in too much. Got 10 more seconds to finish out this effort. Good, strong finish. Nice work. And recover, recover, recover. Try to bring up that cadence for the recovery.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Just a few more to go, Pete. You can do this. You can ride the Giro. You can do this workout. I can't guarantee it. We haven't finished yet, but I'm pretty sure.
I can't ride the Giro off of quarantine legs, though.
That's true. That would be the most unpleasant thing that I could imagine, actually.
No, but these are the kind of workouts that really help, actually. That you just maintain. That's all you can do right now. You can't do everything perfect. So as long as you can kind of keep yourself in a decent spot and know what those hard efforts feel like when things really do get opened up again, you're going to be ahead of most people, for sure.
Definitely, yeah. It's a hard time to try to push forward hard. That's the thing. I've seen some people try it. And I would say it's not recommended. You're trying to maintain a reasonable level so that when you've got the opportunity and the time to get back out, then you can dial it up rather than try to run yourself at the ragged edge right now. Be able to get outside and be like, I'm crispy. That would not be a good setup.
I do that. I mean, I've been doing that. It's just, I don't have I go out and try to think I'll do these certain workouts and nope, there's why.
Yeah.
I'll sprint for a Strava KOM with buddies, just not with them, but against them. We got a little KOM battle going for fun on the side for outdoor riding, but that's pretty much all you can ask for yourself and some kind of inspirational.
Exactly. Have something purpose. All right. We are into number 6 effort here. It's 3 minutes long. We're at about 65 RPM. I'd say right around 90% of FTP again is a good target. Good force being generated. Right around 65. Might have to adjust your gear a little bit. Get that target. Still too slow, Pete.
You can see my info?
I'm looking at mine. I barely hit 65.
There we go.
So the other thing, we're doing a lot of this. We're not stabilizing core, so think about kind of transverse abdominis, everything through there, not like your 6-pack, but all the supporting musculature. Whole core is everything all the way around. And again, driving heels down to get those glutes doing some of the work for sure. Are you a neutral cleat rider, or do you have a forward or backward cleat or anything weird that you do with your?
I don't know. I'm what's comfortable and I don't get knee pain.
Bingo. It's most important. Yeah. All right, we can stand again here. Up and out of the saddle. When you climb, do you like to get out of the saddle a lot? Or
I'm very much out of the saddle more than most people. Very much pure climber style. Stand, sit, again and again. I can't churn seated watts for long times.
Yeah.
I like the acceleration.
Yeah. Find a lot of times that people who have a running background as well tend to do pretty well climbing out of the saddle.
Yep.
You ran in high school, didn't you?
A
little bit.
High school.
Cross country.
I think I still have the mile record at my middle school. So
that's pretty solid.
A runner.
Yeah.
Which is those high intensity short efforts, really. You know, a mile, 4 minutes or whatever. 5 minutes.
Big VO2 test. And suffering capacity for those 4 minutes, especially at altitude. Good work. We got just 18 seconds to the finish of this one. Solid work. If I recall, that's like 6 done. 5 to go. In 3, 2, 1, and sit. Recover. Bring up that cadence again. Power, maybe around the 50% FTP or so. Good work. All right. We're getting into the meat of this, Pete.
Oh, yeah.
We'll call this the end of the second week of our micro Giro today. Nano Giro.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. We got just under a minute. We got 50 seconds till our next one. It starts again, FTP target for the first couple of minutes and then moves to a map target, which based on where my values are with that 80 and 90% map and FTP reduction, respectively, it actually brings that map target to a slightly lower power. So your
I needed to adjust may vary. I didn't realize you were going to have me talking right during the middle of the load here. I thought I got to focus on that.
Absolutely. That's always my trick. Definitely. Asking a asking a question right before the hard effort. That's professional level coaching.
Is that how you get Rowan all angry for the hour record?
Absolutely. When I'm on the scooter and I ask him something going up Roca Corba, he does not like me. All right, we're going to slow it down here. We're on a good grade. 60 RPM, about 90% FTP again. Ooh, we're with Christoph. That guy makes some watts. He's a big unit, big Viking.
So this is the 2011 Giro. Meaning I would be in the Garmin Cervelo kit then. The black with the blue, white.
All right, let's keep an eye out here. We got Garrett up there doing some work. Stebar and Avermaet. This might even be Strada Bianchi from that. From the looks of that.
Yeah.
Still in Italy. We'll count it. Yeah, that's definitely Strada right here. Did you get to ride Strada?
I did. Loved it. Growing up in Colorado with all the dirt roads I would ride anyway. It was like comfort. So I've done it 2 or 3 times. One time I did really well, enjoyed it. And then one time I had to give Van Avermaet my wheel in a dirt sector when I was on BMC. And my race was over.
Yeah.
But I saved him and he had a good finish. And then one other time was that crazy wind year when you just be riding, you get blown into a ditch.
Jeez, yep, crazy. Brutal. Good work. We've got a few more seconds till we bump into the next level of effort. Got Haas there. This might even be Sanremo. That's it. What do you think, Sanremo?
Yeah, I never did that one, unfortunately.
Yeah. Bit more of a sprinter's race to a degree, but I mean,
I always wanted, when you turn pro, you're always like, oh, okay. When you turn pro, you think, okay, I want to do all the monuments, all the Grand Tours, the Worlds, kind of that bucket list.
Yep.
And I got all the Grand Tours, but I never did the classics or the sprinters monuments.
Yeah.
I did Liège and Lombardia heaps of times. I never got to do a Roubaix or a Flanders or a Sanremo.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, you realize pretty quick it's a job. They're taking the guys built for those, not charity case. And I did get to do the cobbles in the Tour de France in 14 in the rain year, and that was enough.
Yeah.
I never need to do it again when they're wet.
Definitely got to experience it. I mean, heck, there's a few pros that have actually experienced Roubaix in the wet these days. It's been a few years.
That's true.
All right, 2 minutes recovery. Well done. You've earned it. I remember, I think, 2013 Worlds also. You did Florida, the Worlds, right? That was a brutal day.
That was
I remember seeing you and Howes at the finish, and you two looked like shells of people.
I think we were the only Americans that finished because everyone was crashing out and so cold. You'd be riding in a straight line, and there's so much intercity oil, you just wipe out for no reason. So that was survival.
Brutal day.
We both had respectable finishes and salvaged something, but
absolutely. Yeah, that was an epic course too. Sure. All right, just over a minute. Not a bad time to take a drink if you have it. On a shorter workout like this, I'm getting away with just water. While we're doing a longer training day, though, I might put a little drink in there, a little mix. But for 50 minutes, I can get by. I say that now. 3 to go, 4 to go. 1, 2, 3, 4 to go. Who knows?
We all know there's beer in your bottle, Neil.
Yeah, let's see. I've got stuff in reach up on the shelf there, just in case I hit the limit. 25 seconds till we go. A steady on one here. 3 minutes long coming up. Another wall.
You know, I actually realized these are real good for all the graveling too. I do now because you need that torque over those rough roads and just that strong seated power. So if you're into the whole gravel movement, even more than pure road cycling, I've done more of these this winter than normal, I would say.
Yeah, that's a very good call because, yep, you got to be able to just push that force. Ooh, we're going to go with Nairo on this one. He's probably had the most wins of any rider this year, huh?
Yeah.
So far.
He had a bit of a resurgence for sure. I think it was good for him for that change of scene.
Yeah. He's a pretty amazing climber when you get to see him just ignite. So finding that motivation and the right headspace really is it's amazing what's possible when you're in a good headspace, as well as what's less possible when you're not there. So now is a good time to be working on your mental skills too.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I'm going to be joining you on one of the big gravel days at Steamboat.
Yeah, so far it's still on.
Yeah.
I hope so. I think there's going to be a whole set of best practices now around mass events, but
yeah,
I think a lot of these communities need them to survive, just economically too. So it's definitely going to be a balancing act.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing the lead boat, and so I mean, Leadville was created in some way to help the community that was, decimated after all the mining closures and other things. So hopefully we get the opportunity to support them this year with the races. If not, consider some way to help out.
Yep.
When and how you can. Yeah, that's going to make Steamboat extra tiring. Have you ever done You've done Leadville now, right?
Leadville, I did last year.
Okay.
For that alternative calendar.
Yeah.
Track.
Got to add in. That was good.
Yeah, people say it's mountain bike, but Leadville really falls in the gravel ethos for me. Yeah. Same format. It's not really the most technical. It's more the epic distance and challenge mass start. So, yeah, I was 4th at Leadville last year.
It's pretty solid.
And the 3-up sprint for second, I was laughing. I hit him 3 or 4 times on the road because I didn't want to sprint.
Trying to create the separation.
Yeah, it was funny. 3 roadies of us, Lachlan Morton, Quinn Simmons, and myself, coming to the line for second. So it became like a track sprint with standing starts and all that.
Oh, man, that's tough after, what was it, 6-7 hours?
Yeah, I think we were 6.5 hours or something.
All right. If I recall, that last stage was Tirreno Adriatico a few years ago in the snow. It's gnarly stuff. We got 8 down, 3 to go. This next one, the effort is 30 seconds harder, a minute steady, 30 seconds harder again, minute steady. That's how we get through the 3 minutes. So a lot of times, as you mentioned there, Pete, in a race, a leader who wants to make an attack is going to have his teammates just drill it at the bottom of the climb to shell anyone who's out of position, and just to put people in the duress and stress before the real hits go.
Yeah, road racing especially, that's how those separations occur with the drafting and the high speed. I mean, you got to have that explosivity and have someone in the red before you put that kill shot in. So, I mean, that's with these little spikes, you got to learn to handle them. Good training.
Yep. And it's, again, there's a physical tolerance to it, but there's also the mental. Like, one of the things that we find sometimes in road cycling is people are used to doing their own training and doing their own efforts. And then you get in a race and somebody else is dictating how hard you go. And you have to respond and react and be okay with it and not just get so mentally beat down.
It is mental. It's just it's so much more taxing mentally to have someone else putting it to you, and you have to do an effort just to survive. That's probably the hardest part of racing.
Definitely. Got to manage it. All right. In 7 seconds, we're going to start our next one. This one, we're going like 95% of FTP at 60 RPM to start. And here it is. Steeper than
all 9.
Step standing is not bad. We're at 15%. So this is solid. This is proper steep. This is Flagstaff, the Blue Barrel Run.
Oh, yeah.
This is Lick Skillet. For those of you in Boulder area, you know these climbs. They're nasty steep stuff.
You guys need to model this workout after the Tour of the Basque Country. Those are the steepest walls in the world, one after another.
Yeah. Crazy. All right, we're going to settle it back here. You'd be right around 80% if you've dialed things down. Maybe 85 at the most. 60 RPM seated.
Feel the strain.
Yeah. Building up. It creeps up on you, this stuff, this big gear work.
Oh, yeah.
I'm good. I'm not good. Nicely done. Trying to keep everything relaxed as you can with the effort. Good job. You got this. In 12 seconds, we're going to have another big effort. About 95% of threshold or so. And here we go. You can stand if you want or stay seated, whatever you prefer. 15% grade. If you can stand, sometimes better. But on Lick Skillet on dirt roads, not so much standing you can do and keep your wheels from sliding. That's why I like Lick Skillet. It's forced seated big gear work. All right, we're going to settle it back down. 60 RPM, about 90% FTP. Stay strong. Less than a minute. Good job. Trying to hold on to these wheels. Looks like things are stringing out.
This looks like the Motorola to me. I don't know.
I've never done the Motorola.
It's in the forest like this. Narrow. It's worse higher up. But
yeah. There's a few epic climbs in Italy still on my list I got to get to. This is Motorola, the Stelvio.
Oh, yeah.
Zoncolon, I don't know. I guess.
Zoncolon's one of those things where it's not really fun unless you're actually racing it.
Yeah. All right, we get to recover. 90 seconds, but just 75 seconds left. Whew. 90 RPM again, feels fast. After that, it's good to have that switch up, though.
Oh, yeah.
Get that spinning and try to keep things smooth with speed as well.
It's funny that I always joke anyone can probably relate to it, that cyclist eye you have for random corners and trees anywhere in the world. Like just on the TV, it's like I saw that one bend of road in that random forest. I was like, I know that. I was dropped there. You're like, you know, and it could be anywhere. It could be, I've had that driving through France 10 years after some race when I was a young kid, and have that in here at home still. Someone takes a picture. I'm like, I know that. You have the weirdest perceptions as riding.
That is amazing. Oh, that looks like Zonkel on there. But who knows? We'll find out. All right. I do believe we're heading to the Finestra now. Let's see. Finestra in Italian, which I don't speak Italian, I think means windows.
That was a fun stage. That was the stage 20 of the 2011 Giro. Finestra.
Yep.
I got let off leash there to
go
for my own because
our
team leader had cracked officially and he wasn't going to be fighting for a GC the same. So as the young kid in my first year, they're like, all right, go for it.
Get some.
And I think I did top 20 in that big final mountain day, which was nice.
Yeah, because it finished in Sestriere then. Like
yeah.
Finestra, drop down, and then that drag up Sestriere.
Yep.
Oof. Strong work here. We got a little surge effort, a little bit higher, around 90, 95%. A little steeper here, 65 RPM. Got Ryder at the front there.
Yeah.
Back group. Alberto and Pink, yep. Nice work, another minute of this effort. This was just 2 minutes, so kind of nice. But we only get a minute recovery, so short recovery. I'm gonna slow down that RPM in a couple seconds here and bump up the power just a touch more. Here's WrestleMania time. 60 revs, about 90 some percent. 30 seconds to go. Good job. Stay strong and with it. Keep that core engaged. Nice work. A few more seconds. All the way. What I remember of the Finestra, it's not super steep. It's what, 8 or 9%, but it's never less than 8 or 9%. Ever. The whole way for 20 some K on dirt. Ooh. That descent's nice though. Get that cadence back up. Nice work. 35 seconds and we got our last wall, grand finale. Gonna go big. I'll think about all the little things here. Driving your heels down, breathe with diaphragm, keep that core stable, upper body relaxed, hands relaxed on the bars in 10 seconds to get into the goods. Start off around 85% FTP here, slowing down to 60 RPM. And here we go, last wall. Just 2 minutes-ish. Or 3.
Like this.
Making you out. Yep, that's Finestra. Landa. Doing some ignition at the front. Good work here.
That's what I always thought about Astana too, those baby blue puff balls.
Puffball.
Damn puff balls.
Yeah, there they go again. Yeah, this is where Alberto had a little tenuous moment that year. Just have to manage the effort. Those last couple corners, just nasty. So many people up there, though.
Oh, yeah.
The Italian Tifosi are pretty dedicated lot. A little steeper here, a little more power. 90-ish% of FTP, around 60 RPM. We're almost halfway done with this. Good work, nice and steep. 12% grade, it's no joke. Good work. If you are paying attention to your heart rate, you'll notice it's probably a touch lower than it would be at a higher cadence. Shifts away from a cardiovascular stress more to a muscular stress. So, a little bit of a change. Good work. 1 more minute. There we go. Get to enjoy the throngs of people up on the top of the thing. Just 45 more seconds. But man, those 45 seconds sometimes go slow. Whew. Almost home. Last 30 seconds. Nice. 70 RPM, just lifted a touch, last 22 seconds. Nice work. It's almost there. There's the top of the climb. You have made it through effort number 11 of 11.
Oh.
Well done. Woo-wee. That, my friend, was some work. Well done, Pete.
Oh, man.
Well done, everyone out there. Thanks for joining. Oh, boy.
I feel like I did something. That's good.
Definitely. Definitely. Some work has been accomplished. Now we get to cool down, and if you have the video at home, you can turn up the sound and listen. It's a bit of a funny story out of a chap trying to trigger the speed sensor on his local road. It only goes off once you're over 45, I believe, or 40. Yeah, that's it. And so he gets some training to prepare for it, and got a pretty sweet indoor setup, I'd say. Not quite as nice as my kicker bike, but as you see as they pan back, it's pretty retro cool. I think my headwind fan wins. His isn't even on. Whew. He's doing some course preview there. You know, he got some video footage and taken to some science there. He's got some aerodynamics going on, trying to optimize his helmet, bring the tail off the end. And the green color, if you haven't watched this video, it's all about channeling the inner rage, what they call hulking. Thinking that, you know, with green you get that extra Hulk power. It worked for Sagan, right?
Yeah, it's definitely worked for Sagan. I think he's green screening or something there. They're making a video game or something out of him. I don't know if I've ever watched the last bit of this. I think typically I get to the end of this workout and I'm completely shelled. I won't even see the end of it.
See straight, yeah. So he's getting ready for his trial run where he's trying to trigger the camera or the lights that go off when you hit the speed. He's prepared. He's got his green suit. He's prepared to Hulk, get angry. Sweet Bianchi. That was one of my first race bike, proper race bike. Was a Bianchi Reparto Corso. It's a lovely ride, and I had sweet spinner G's that I had on it back in the day of the old salad shooter wheels. They did everything. They did cross, they did road races, they did grits, all dangerously. I never lost a finger, fortunately.
Hey Pete, did you notice that I think that first, or at least the warm up section of this workout, was that Boz in that breakaway? Did you notice?
I did not see. Depends what race. Boz would have turned pro before or just after me a couple years, so it would have had to be at least 2013 or 14 for that to have been him. But I think the compilation was from races all over different times. So
yeah, there was a mix, a few different years at play.
I could have swore I saw Boz make an appearance in there, and I almost screenshot it.
It's possible. Might have to go back and review the tape.
Thanks for not just playing the workout video from when Neil made me do this stupid 4DP test in Boulder a few months ago.
No problem.
I just had to watch that.
So that's actually a really great. I'm gonna pull this thing off the screen so we don't have to look at this guy anymore. You got 1 minute left in your cooldown if you're still watching this. That's actually a great segue, Pete, because we're on Wednesday. Coach Neil and Coach Mac are going to have a discussion with about testing and 40P and the new kind of ramp test, half Monty, which is not just a ramp test, but includes a ramp. And obviously you did that in Boulder in February. There's some, you put the hurt on for sure.
You got to do it next level though, like full lab tests.
Yeah.
I actually got the most info I've ever got from a test. Seriously, it was amazing.
What did you get out of that? What was the learning for you there?
Especially like the metabolic rates. Like, I've always known, and I've trained a certain level I'm more efficient than a lot of riders just being a pro for so long. But to see where the fat burning really turns to carb burning and how high it is, technically how long I can ride at fat burning, that would be
absolutely one of the differentiators of a guy like you in the capacity. And that's going to serve you well in all the gravel events too.
Oh yeah, exactly. For fueling ideas and all that. Just to
I think and Ian did that as well in Boulder, and he came away with a lot of the same information, and he said the same thing, like, wow, this is the most I've kind of gotten out of testing, in my career. Kind of ironic that, we've both transitioned, to something that doesn't rely so much on that. But still a lot to be gained. And, Wednesday, we're going to get into that. And actually, we're going to have Susie Snyder, who typically leads our yoga and strength sessions on Wednesday. She's going to actually do the half Monty while Neil and Mac, there's been an argument internally. I know there's been an argument, a discussion internally is, so are they going to be discussing her numbers and what she's going through? Or are they going to be heckling her during?
She
has very nicely volunteered, and so we are definitely going to encourage her. She doesn't have to use the metabolic. She doesn't have to have the mask or the lactate. So it'll be a little bit more reasonable. Not quite as invasive as you guys got.
It'll be a really worthwhile conversation for sure. And I think a conversation, where all the viewers that tune in here, you're going to walk away understanding why you do testing and the real benefit beyond just like an FTP number or a 40P number. It really, how do you use energy? Like you were saying, like how can you, and then also like testing always provides, it's not just benchmarks, but it gives you like information to adjust. Right. And so, the Sufferfest is a great platform for that, because it's going to be able to adjust that using that information from those tests. And ultimately, we all want to be the best version of ourselves. Right. And so, testing is a good way to kind of measure that. I know for me, testing, not just performance testing, but testing in general brings extreme anxiety from, old high school days and math tests. And, but this is a sort of test that really gives you usable information. So, well, Pete, thanks for joining today.
Thank you.
That was a blast. There were some comments coming in. What has Pete got his workout set to? Is he set to 100%? Is he set to 80 or 90? I got a feeling you were.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
I think by that fourth or fifth, real big interval there, I could see on your face you were like, man, I am really working here. That's good.
Yep. Solid.
Yeah, especially as you said, especially with gravel, that torque, but also climbing, on loose terrain, requiring you to sit down and put out that low cadence, high power, where you can't really maybe default to where you really feel natural, where I can stand up here and stand and sit.
Exactly.
Where you kind of have to kind of get outside of your comfort zone there. So it's interesting insight to kind of see, that this is sort of your bread and butter to some degree to really prepare for some of the gravel stuff.
I probably do this workout twice a week. Like I said, coming out of a rest day, pretty much twice a week, every week from like November 1st into the season, really do a lot of these things.
Yeah. Foundational.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love these workouts. They're right under my, over under kind of workouts. It's like that. And then that to me is like, it covers the bases for me personally. I get the most value, kind of most bang out of my buck for these two type of workouts. Well, cool. Well, thanks again for joining. And hey, guys, Pete's going to be back here on Friday doing a live Q&A, 12 p.m. Eastern. So, you know, we may kind of catch him making his morning coffee on Friday because he's in California. So he'll be just getting his day going, and so get your questions queued up for that. You know, you can ask anything from, you know, World Tour questions, training, gravel, you know, what it was like to win the 2019 Belgian Waffle Ride last year and kind of how that battle went down. It's pretty epic. I got to see some of it, and it was definitely cool to watch. And so queue up all your questions, send them over in comments, and also, of course, let us know, guys, what you like, what you don't like about these workouts, what you want to see more of, and tune back in on Friday. With that said, I'll let you go, Pete, and Neil. We'll catch up with you. We'll catch up with you on Friday as well, or on Wednesday.
Yep. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Matt.
See you guys.
Thanks,
Friday.
guys. Take care. All right, you're left with me. Thanks again for joining the Wahoo All In live workouts, presented by the Sufferfest, or could say powered by the Sufferfest. Today was definitely powered by your own energy. Congrats to all of you making it through that workout. That was a tough one for sure. 50 minutes of torque work. So you can be proud of a Monday well spent. Thanks again for joining. If you want to continue to watch these videos, go back and watch previous live streams, previous Q&As. One we did with Rowan Dennis and Amity Rockwell. Those are all in the playlist linked in the description below. And if you're currently not a subscriber, check out that link below, and you can subscribe using the code there for a free trial. Sign up for the all-in training plans. Great way to stay focused and positive and kind of just holistically healthy during this global pandemic. And of course, like I said, please send over your comments, questions, questions for Pete for Friday, what you like, what you don't like, and what you want to see more of. We definitely read every one of those, and Pete and Neil will be kind of diving into those comments over on YouTube throughout the week, and getting back to each one of you, in addition to just us from Wahoo as well. So thanks again for joining, everybody. Signing out. Be healthy, be happy. We'll see you on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern.